I think it's pretty safe to say that a large chunk of the Star Wars community at this point in time right now is very skeptical about the Star Wars future, right? The future of this new expanded universe that is currently in active development by Disney, Lucasfilm, Bob Iger, Bob Chapek, whatever have you, right? And I think that there is a light at the end of the tunnel here. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you are new to the channel for future Star Wars content. The thing about Disney Star Wars is that, yes, it has had a rough past. I will agree that Rogue One: A Star Wars Story was a fantastic film. Did it have its flaws? Absolutely. Was it the best Star Wars movie ever? Maybe not, but I do believe that it was Disney's strongest point when it came to capturing the overall feel of Star Wars. Now, yes, given it was not a Skywalker Saga-oriented movie, I understand that. It had a far different tone. But I believe that Rogue One was really the early peak of Disney Star Wars. Since the release of The Last Jedi after Rogue One is where we saw this steady decline of the universe. And now that's exactly what they're trying to repair with, of course, Disney Plus and the new Star Wars films and the books, the novels, and the comics. Even though, of course, Disney has been in negotiations with other companies, developing some of these video games and these comics that, well, they want to keep some form of the woke culture intact with Star Wars, which I think should really just go entirely. Now, beyond all of this, what's really intriguing all has to do with, of course, Disney CEO Bob Iger. We do know that he is still helping Chapek to really show him the ropes to becoming the proper CEO that he needs to be. And with that being said, of course, that now, just in the beginning of Disney's new Star Wars universe with the new Disney CEO Bob Chapek, they actually have major plans to reform the Star Wars franchise by investing his time into the new Star Wars universe in order to create a better path for the franchise and for the entire Star Wars fandom. Now, Chapek and Iger are both working together as a team in order to provide the community a new, authentic Star Wars project that's currently in the early works, as well as other projects that are in the early works that are very much geared toward George Lucas's vision. However, it's explained that during and after the premiere of The Rise of Skywalker, many interviews were given to the creators of the sequel trilogy films, where at one point in time, Disney CEO Bob Iger was asked and questioned about the current state of Star Wars, to where he was questioned about the backlash from The Last Jedi, and that Bob Iger went on to say, it was never an intention to make the fans unhappy, and that he is very sorry for the fans feeling such a way. He went on to say that Disney as a company, and even himself, are sorry that the fans felt such a way to create a backlash against Rian Johnson's film. Now, let me just say one thing here, is that, we do know that it's pretty obvious at this point that Disney was really trying to cover themselves. I would say more so in the beginning year of 2018, before Solo's release. Bob Iger, the Disney CEO at the time still, he himself was actually blaming the actual numbers for Solo: A Star Wars Story for the box office, of course, all on a frequency issue. And we've talked about this before many times in the past, and I think that was the one irresponsible thing by Bob Iger. That was the one thing that really kind of changed my thoughts on Bob Iger. But recently, it seems like Bob Iger has been warming up to the fans and has been really kind of showing Bob Chapek the correct way to handle the franchise now that Disney really can't afford. I mean, let's face it, Disney cannot afford any more losses, given the major crisis that's happening around the world, of how many movies were impacted. A lot of money was lost, generally speaking, over in Hollywood. That is a given fact, and that now, I think that this is where we're going to see a bit more of a pushback, where they know that a large chunk of common moviegoers do not necessarily like woke culture, and they really can't meddle with that too much with Star Wars. Now, eventually Iger was questioned also about George Lucas and his feelings with The Force Awakens and feeling betrayed. Iger went on to state that he felt great regret of what they did with George Lucas by not including his core concepts into the overall storyline, and that he was feeling great regret of how George felt with the new Star Wars films, and that they are now just learning of what they can do with the Star Wars franchise, and that they are actually going to endless possibilities for the future. So, this is another thing, is that they are now just learning that they have endless possibilities for the Star Wars franchise. let's just say one thing here, is that this, of course, all has to do with the library's worth of Star Wars material making its way over to Disney+. That's, of course, going to be a combination of new TV series, both in live action and animated form. They've also been in negotiations of quite possibly even making animated movies of Star Wars for Disney+, kind of like what we got with the Clone Wars. They want to do something like that, except more advanced, quite possibly CGI animation. So, with that being said, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this below in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.